Is Africa on your travel to-do list? If that's the case, I've got a real treat for you today. Today, we're exploring what I think is probably one of the best ways to explore Africa with AmaWaterways Stars of Africa itinerary. Welcome to RTE Travel Talk, Ask a Real Travel Expert, the show that talks to travel professionals around the world. Joining me today to review this amazing itinerary is Barb Chamberlain of Direct Travel and one of her excited clients that just returned from this itinerary, Carol. If you enjoy the journey with us today, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And if this video's got you inspired, give it a thumbs up or drop a comment and join the conversation. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for being part of our travel community, whether you're a longtime fan or just dropping by. We really appreciate it. And now, on with the show. Joining me today is cruise and travel expert Barb Chamberlain of Direct Travel. And along with Barb, she has one of her wonderful clients, Carol, from North Carolina. And we're here today to talk about AmaWaterways and the Stars of Africa. Hi, ladies. Welcome to RTE Travel Talk.
Thank you.
Hi, Ken.
It's great to have you with us. So, Barb, let's kind of start with the big picture. Can you give us a quick overview of what this incredible journey entails, where it starts, where it goes, and what makes it really stand out?
Yeah, sure, Ken. It's AmaWaterways, and it's their most popular program, and it's called the Stars of Africa. It starts in Cape Town. It goes on their cruise on the Chobe River, which I think is fabulous. For 4 nights, it does Victoria Falls. You go into Johannesburg and you end up in Kruger Park. It's a great itinerary to see the Big Five and have the mix of the river cruise, because the cruise goes right down the middle of the river and the animals come down to drink. And then you have your land safaris also. So it's a really nice rounded itinerary.
Fantastic. So, Carol, I gather you've had the opportunity to do this particular itinerary.
It was life-changing for me. I've been to over 60 countries in the world and seen some fabulous places. And in all honesty, I can't compare this trip to anything I've ever done.
Wow.
It stands out uniquely.
Yeah.
And Ama did a fabulous job. I saw everything I wanted to see. They did it first class. It was comfortable. The hotels were first class. The food was great. And being on the river and on the land was very different,
right,
and really added something fabulous to the whole trip.
Oh.
I've been talking to everybody I can about how fabulous the trip is. And so to be here to talk to a bigger audience,
yeah, fantastic. So, Barb, what do you think for travelers that, may be new to Africa? Most people, when they think of Africa, well, it's just a safari. But this actually is a combination of a luxury river cruise and a land safari adventure. Is that really appealing?
I believe it is, Ken. And as I said, it's their most popular one. And you're not, rush, right, and going from one safari to another safari. And it just gives you a different concept when you're on the river. And the captain of the ship, his only chore, I guess is the word, or direction, I guess, is that he is to follow the animals.
Right on.
Like he doesn't have a set course. He follows the animals down the Chobe River. And it's amazing. And what they also do is they have these they're not zodiacs, but they have little boats that they'll take you off the ship and they'll take you by boat closer to the sides of the river so that you can see the animals up close and personal. And it's great.
Barb, when you're planning a trip like this, what should travelers know ahead of time in terms of visas, vaccination, flights? Is this something that they should really tackle on their own, or should they have the services of somebody that's familiar with safaris and Africa travel?
In my experience, and I've been around the block a few times, Ama makes it seamless. Could you do it on your own? Yes, but you just don't know what you're getting yourself into when you look online and things like that, and you just don't know if this company is going to be there in 2 years when you're traveling. Or it just makes me cringe to think of it. Either go on a reliable land company to Africa or go on an AmaWaterways where you have the land and the cruise experience, but go with a reliable company. I cannot stress that enough. A lot of people book Africa at least a year to 2 years out. I don't know if there's any space for 2026. There might be the odd date that's available. I'm holding some space for the Stars of Africa for May of
Oh,
2027.
fantastic.
So the air's not available right yet. But when it is, AMA will give a price for economy, premium economy, and business class. And then it's up to you. But when you do the air with them, it's seamless.
Exactly.
It is just seamless.
And that's really important when you're doing this type of travel.
So-
Yeah, I can recall with our experience with AmaWaterways, we did Egypt. And you basically put yourself in their hands from start to finish.
Yep.
And it's so seamless. Yeah.
And they have a tour director that meets you in Africa, and he's with you till the end.
Yeah.
It's a lovely way to travel, and it's hassle free. It's not rush, rush, rush. You've got some downtime, especially on the cruise.
Yeah.
I mean, the windows in every cabin are huge,
Yes.
and you have downtime. You're not rushing here and there and everywhere.
So, Carol, what inspired you to take this journey, and how was your experience working with Barb to prepare?
I've wanted to go to Africa for years, and basically my husband said, I'm a city person, I'm not interested. Well, he found the AMA trip, and he said, got the trip for us. We're going to Africa. So I was thrilled.
Yeah.
Barbara made it seamless.
Yeah.
This is a big trip. You need to worry about a lot of different pieces. And Barbara took all of that away. All I had to do was concern myself with getting to the airport and packing. She took care of everything, which is just what I need. She made it wonderful. As a matter of fact, we booked another trip with her because she is fabulous.
Fantastic. So Cape Town is your first stop along the way. It's such a vibrant city. What are some of the standout experiences, Carol, that you enjoyed while you were in Cape Town?
We stayed at the waterfront, and that was wonderful. It was beautiful. Great restaurants, fabulous shopping. One of the things I would say is if you're not used to eating different kinds of foods, try them.
Yep.
The food was marvelous. My husband and I really travel on our stomachs, and we love to try different things. I told one chef that she really needed to write a cookbook. The food was that good. Oh, we saw penguins. We saw Table Mountain. We went to Robben's Island, and Barbara really encouraged us to pick that part.
Oh, really?
And there was a choice. Yeah. And Barbara was absolutely right. It was where Nelson Mandela spent 18 of his 27 years in prison.
Yep.
We actually stood in the same cell that Nelson Mandela lived in for 18 years. It was an incredible history lesson.
Fascinating. So, Barb, all of these experiences that Carol's talking about, they're all are they all packaged with AmaWaterways? It's just all part of it?
AmaWaterways in Cape Town gives you a choice of 2 excursions that are included in your and one is the Tabletop Mountain and one is Robben's Island. And I do suggest that clients go to the Robben Island. I mean, the Tabletop is gorgeous, don't get me wrong. Right. And you could go in a day early, like Carol and her husband did, and go up to Tabletop. You can do that. And Cape Town is known for their wine. So for wine lovers, it's a nice place to be too.
The other thing we saw was the townships. And that was really important because there's a big difference between what I would call the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
And so you got a very rounded experience of what Cape Town and also Johannesburg was like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah. So it's really worthwhile to see that portion of Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's talk about the cruise portion. The Zambesi Queen is the ship. Barb, what can you tell us about the onboard experience in the river itself?
It's great because all the staff on board are locals.
Right.
So they're there early morning, getting your breakfast ready and things like that. And then they're there till late at night, and then they go home and sleep. It's fabulous. There is some staff on board overnight. They don't just abandon you. Bye.
And exactly. And you mentioned that the captain's main job is to follow the wildlife. So each particular river cruise sounds like could be slightly different because he's gonna head off in different directions. Carol, tell us about some of the wildlife you saw along the river.
Oh wow, herds of elephants. We saw impalas. We saw kudu, which I didn't know what a kudu was. We saw baboons, hippos. I could go on.
Yeah.
It was a different feeling when you're on a river and you see these animals all coming out. The sunsets on the river I have so many pictures of the sunsets, one better than the next.
Yeah.
Fabulous, fabulous wildlife. And
The river cruise portion of it is quite a bit different than a game drive on land. So,
yes,
Carol, you've experienced both with the land portion and the river cruise. Which would you say is you get you more up close and personal with the wildlife? Was it the game drives or
it
the river?
no, it was the game drives that
Yeah.
you did get up most up,
Yeah.
up close and personal. But you don't want to miss the water.
Yeah.
You really don't want to miss the water. It's wonderful. We were 10 feet from an elephant. There was an elephant. There was a Jeep right in front of us, and the elephant was right in front of the Jeep. I was 10 feet from a lion at night,
Yeah.
sleeping on the side of the road. Giraffes, they're right there.
Yeah.
Zebras, wildebeests, you're right there. And the land portion was very important. And yes, you were closer.
So how many nights on the river do you spend?
4 nights.
4 nights. And
And I could have
It's-
spent more.
You know, I always say that Ama Africa is like the ice cream with a cherry on top. You get both. You
Yes.
you get both experiences. I don't know really that many companies that offer such an experience like Ama does.
no,
I
it,
In their
wouldn't
programs.
have wanted to have given up either one.
yeah, it really sounds like it's well-rounded. Now, the itinerary also includes Victoria Falls. What did you find in Victoria Falls that AmaWaterway offers there in terms of experiences?
Well, we walked along, the pathway, and it's just beautiful. We took a helicopter ride, which was fabulous. They do this old-fashioned train, and they stop in the middle of a bridge, and you get to look at all the views. And not only that, you're on the train, and they're feeding you cocktails and wine or beer and hors d'oeuvres, and it's just this incredible experience.
Wow.
And that's included in the
All-
Ama Waterways.
Yeah, all of this is included.
The helicopter's not though, is it?
No, the helicopter.
No.
The helicopter's not, but
No.
I have to know, Carol, would you recommend it?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I'm afraid
It's an amazing experience, the helicopter ride over Victoria Falls. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With the train stopping halfway over the falls and you're having lunch and you just get to view the falls like that. I mean, it's wonderful.
It was one of the highlights of the trip.
What about the accommodations in Victoria Falls? Where did you folks stay?
Oh, we stayed at a beautiful hotel.
Mhm.
All the hotels, as I saw, 5-star.
Yeah.
They were incredibly comfortable. The rooms were beautiful. The staff was fabulous. The food was great. If I'm going to go that far, I want to know that everything is taken care of. And it was. All of the hotels were wonderful.
Yeah.
The other thing that Carol mentioned to me that is so important is that all the hotels had laundry facilities.
Oh, yes.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it's one of the things when we talk about packing now, I will tell you, because I packed wrong. First of all, don't take too much. The hotels have laundry. So if you take 2 pair of safari pants, great. If you take 2 pair of nice pants and one gets dirty, no problem.
Yeah.
Don't pack that fancy clothes. You're
No.
not going to use it. Don't
No.
bring a lot of jewelry. You don't need
No.
it. There were times when we were out late on a safari. I went directly to dinner in my safari pants.
Yeah.
And nobody looked at me and said, "Oh my gosh, look at you." No, everybody was comfortable. I didn't wear makeup for 3 weeks.
So nobody
ladies-
stands on luxury on
nobody
these cruises.
stands on luxury.
It's really about the experience.
It is the experience. You are taken care of, first class. All you have to do is enjoy yourself.
So let's talk about the next leg, which is kind of Johannesburg and then the Kruger Lodge segments. What were some of the highlights for those?
Johannesburg was very interesting. We went to Soweto and we met with the people. We went to a community center. We had an opportunity to buy some of their handiworks. So it was helping the community. You saw the townships and you saw the shanties that these people live in. It was an important thing to see of the have-nots, of how they live. But these people are wonderful. They're friendly. They're warm.
So tell me about the Lodge Safari experience in Kruger Park.
That was beautiful. You have a cabin right in kind of the forest.
Hmm.
And it's a small walk to the cabin, but it's all yours and it's separate from everything else. Everything is outside.
Yeah.
So you're eating outside. If you're going to sit and relax, there's an open room, or you could just sit outside. It's just this whole outdoor experience, and it's beautifully, beautifully appointed. And as I said, the food is wonderful. That's where I told the chef she's got to write a cookbook, and I would buy two of them, one for me and
Yeah.
one for my daughter.
Amazing, amazing. So, how many game drives did you do?
You do two every day.
Okay.
You do one very early in the morning. The game drive is about 3 hours long. You're in a Jeep
Yep.
with maybe six people. There's a number of Jeeps that go out. About halfway through, about an hour and a half through, they all stop at a clearing and all the Jeeps come together and we have a meal.
Yeah.
So you're in the middle of a safari. They take it out. They have this little table connected to the Jeep, and you have drinks and you have little muffins or whatever they put out right in the middle of the safari. And then at night, in the later afternoon, you have wine or beer or gin and tonics, whatever you want, with hors d'oeuvres.
My idea of a picnic.
Yes, you're standing there in Africa on a safari and you're drinking wine.
Doesn't get much better than that.
It really doesn't get much better than that. So you saw a lot of animals on these game drives, Carol?
Lots of animals. A mother that was nursing a baby. We saw herds of elephants. Right. We saw a rhino with a baby walking down the path in front of us. Leopards. The leopards are kind of walking in the grass, kind of trying to hide. There was one point, we saw a number of lions, and there was one point where a pride of lions brought down a giraffe.
Oh, wow.
We were like maybe 15 feet from them, and they are munching away.
Yeah.
Now it's the circle of life.
Exactly.
But oh my God, that's Africa.
Yeah.
And just seeing the giraffes though walking along, it's you see it on TV. You see these animal shows on TV.
But it doesn't do it justice, does it?
No, it's not the same. When you're actually there and you turn a corner and there's a giraffe standing there. I have one picture of it's 3 zebras in a row, and you can just barely see it because they're different stripes.
Yeah.
Stripes, yeah.
Amazing. Just absolutely. So what time of year were you there, Carol?
We were there in June, which is their winter.
Right.
Cape Town was cool. It wasn't cold, but it was cool. And when we were there, we really never dealt with any mosquitoes. And maybe that was because of the fact that it's winter. Yeah. But we did buy clothes that were insect repellent and that protected us from the sun. Yeah. And that is something you should do.
That's a must, yes. Yeah.
It's a must. Yeah. And you use it. Yeah. You use those shirts, and they're very good. That's what you want to do. So,
Barb, let's talk about. Carol was there in June. Is that the best time of year to go in June, or is there a preferred time of year? I'm kind of the opinion that there really isn't a bad time to do this.
January, February, March is not great, right. And the reason why it's not great is because it's the rainy season.
Right.
And when it's the rainy season, the animals don't have to come down to the river.
Okay.
I steer away from those 3 months. I mean, from April, I've had people go in April. I've had people go in May. Carol went in June. I've got people going in August. If you want to go to the Serengeti, and Ama has a wonderful 17-day program that takes you to the Serengeti, and it's called the Golden Trails of East Africa, then I would say, and you want to see the big herds on the Serengeti, then I say go September-ish. It's funny. I talked to the head guy that looks after the program, Todd, that he's saying that the migrations are changing. Climate is changing and the migrations are changing. So there's no set time saying the migration is happening here anymore. But if you want to see the bigger herds on the Serengeti, then I'm saying fall.
Right.
But I think June is a great time, like that Carol went on, because as she said, she didn't have the mosquitoes. And yes, Cape Town was cool, but the rest of it, was warmer. Yeah. And it's comfortable. It's comfortable.
Yeah. It's very comfortable.
We were there. We were in Africa in September, and the weather was wonderful.
As a matter of fact, of the whole Ama trip, we never had rain.
Yeah, and that was kind of our experience too. I think we had about 2 hours of rain on one particular day. Now, Carol, you had the opportunity to do one of the most famous extensions they always talk about is the Rwanda extension with the gorilla trek. Tell us about that.
Barbara recommended it. If I hadn't gone on the gorilla experience, I would have missed something incredible.
Right.
You have a group of people, and they separate you in terms of physical ability. We were on the easiest one, and it was still, you had to climb up a mountain. There's helpers, and I don't know what they call them, but there are helpers, local people that if there's a big step or if it's muddy, they're right there to help you. You
Okay.
never have a problem of being not safe or anything. I'm not an athletic person. I'm not 25, and it was just fine. We hiked up, and it was just wonderful to hike up this mountain. Not something I've done. I'm in Africa and I'm hiking up a mountain.
Wow.
Then you're standing in right around the trees and all in the bushes, and there are the gorillas. So I was 10 feet away from a 450-pound silverback male. And he's sitting on his haunches and he's munching on bamboo. And he's just happy as can be. I've got the funniest pictures of him. And it looks like just any old guy who's sitting there like this. These are animals that have 98% of our DNA.
Yeah.
And you can really see it. There's a similarity. Then I have this marvelous video. There was this mother with a little baby. Couldn't have been more than 2 or 3 months old, I suspect. And the way she handled the baby, the way she looked at the baby, the way the baby was crawling on her, it could have been your grandchild.
Wow. Wow.
It's an experience that you just don't want to miss.
Yeah.
It was a once in a lifetime experience. I'm standing there looking at the gorillas, taking pictures, and all of a sudden I feel something bump against me, just lightly bump against me.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, well, one of the other group members wants to get near.
Yeah.
And I turn around and there's a mother gorilla on her, on all fours with the baby on her back, and she's passing me. That's what bumped me. and they're very comfortable with humans. They see them all the time, and they just ignore you.
Yeah.
And you're perfectly safe.
Yeah.
You're perfectly safe. Nobody's charging you.
And these experiences, this is something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. This is amazing memories.
No question. Yeah. It was absolutely the icing on the cake, the cherry. It was an experience you don't want to miss if you're going that far.
Yeah, and Ama, every morning or nighttime, I guess, they have scouts. And they will go up into the hills and see where the families are resting for the night. And then they go back up in the morning, I think, before the truck starts to make sure that they're still there. So you're seeing it all in their natural inhabitant.
Oh, you
and
are.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I am such an animal lover. It's wonderful how they do it.
Oh, fantastic.
And the other thing I would like to say about AMA right now is that they give back to all the different communities that they go to in Africa big time. Yeah. And it's a huge kudos to them, just huge kudos to them.
Yeah. So, Carol, I like your advice. This is not an inexpensive trip by any means. But if you do have the affordability to go to Africa, then you're definitely recommending that you should spend the few extra dollars to do the Rwanda gorilla trek.
Yes, and it is not inexpensive. Barbara recommended it. She talked about it, and she was 1,000% right. It was what made the trip even more incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And Africa, I get excited about it because it was the trip of a lifetime for Deb and I as well. And for us, it's not inexpensive, but we'd do it again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat. Yeah. If I had the time, I would go back and do the same thing.
Yeah,
fabulous.
It's just that amazing.
The other thing that the tour guides, we've had good tour guides on other trips and very mediocre ones. The amateur guides were fabulous. Yeah. Absolutely fabulous.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, Barb, in your opinion, who is best suited for this type of a trip? Is it ideal for seasoned travelers or perhaps the more adventurous first-timers?
All the above.
Yes, all the above.
What I'm finding, Ken, is that, couples like Carol and her husband, Mark, that, they went and had a great time. And I'm finding that multi-generational families are going. And it's great. Yeah. I mean, it's not for young children. No. But ages 8, 9, and above.
Absolutely,
and that
absolutely.
It's great.
I couldn't think of anything better if I could ever possibly afford it to take my older grandchildren on this and expose them to this. It's just amazing, just absolutely amazing.
I have a 9-year-old,
Yeah.
and I would take him
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a heartbeat if I could.
And I think it would be a big life-changing moment for them in a good way. I really,
Yes.
really do.
Absolutely. Yeah. For a
Yeah,
couple of
I really
reasons.
do.
Like they're
Yeah,
gonna experience the animals, but they're also getting a real big history lesson, which
exactly.
and they see
No
how other people
question.
live. It's the best education.
The other thing we went to was the Genocide Museum, and that's something you don't want to miss because there was a real genocide in Rwanda,
Right.
an important thing that I did not know existed, and it was wonderful to see. This is a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
It is incredible to show kids the other
exactly,
side of it.
exactly. And to see that and to think about it, and it's really, really the best education.
To answer your question,
Yeah.
Ken, I mean, I've done everything from a solo, a solo going, solo
Yeah.
lady actually went on her
Hmm.
own, and she said that she never felt by herself. She was with a
Yeah.
group from AMA, and she said and she went to Rwanda too,
Wow.
and she said it was
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Yeah,
so on that note, you can do this as a solo
yep,
traveler.
absolutely.
We had a few women. I think we had 2 women on the trip that were solo.
Oh, great.
Yep,
And
yep.
for us, Carol, and you can tell me whether you agree with me. The group that you go with, you develop a real bond.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We shared emails and all,
Yeah.
and I've been in touch with some of them already.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, Carol, now that you've done it, what surprised you most about the experience? And I don't have to ask, would you do it again? Because I already know the answer to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. The diversity of Africa, how fabulous the people are. The experience was just quite unique. These are life-changing experiences when you see a lion just lying on the road sleeping, or an elephant with a baby nursing.
So,
If you can afford it, you don't want to miss it.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. So, Barb, here's the thing. You've sold an absolute ton of Africa and you're well versed in all of it. So
We
I
do.
gather you've got some group space set aside for this in 27?
May the 14th to the 28th
Right.
in 2027. I've blocked off space with AmaWaterways. Now, I mean, if that's not the date that works for you, then there's all the other dates that we can talk about.
Wonderful. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being with us today.
It was my pleasure.
Thanks,
It's
Ken.
been a fantastic to hear your insights and experiences. It's been a real pleasure having you on the show. So, Barb, if folks wanted to reach out to you about a possible Stars of Africa or another AmaWaterways itinerary, how would they do that?
They can call me at
Mm-hmm.
519-670-4448, or they can email me at bchamberlain, so it's BChamberlain at dt.com. So DT like directtravel.com.
Perfect. I'll leave that contact information in the show notes for those folks that might like to reach out. But as always, since I like to live vicariously through the travels of all the wonderful people I get to interview on this show, Carol, I'm going to start with you. I have to know what's next for you and Mark on the travel to-do list.
We called Barb, and by the way, I found Barb on one of these travel talks.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Because she seemed to know everything, and we felt very comfortable that she would do a great job. So we booked a trip to Morocco with her.
Oh,
which we had been.
marvelous. Sounds great. And Barb, what about yourself? What's next on the to-do list for you?
And at the end of September, I'm going on the new Allura, Oceana's Allura. And after that, I've got 3 days in between to do my laundry. And when I get back from the Allura, and then I'm off to the Mediterranean on Seaborne Ovation doing the Med.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. Seaborne Ovation in the Mediterranean sounds interesting. We'll have to have you back to regale us with your adventures in the Med. How does that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
Well, with that, ladies, I'm simply going to wish each of you safe and happy travels on all your future destinations and cruises. May the wind always be at your back, and I hope to see you, Barb, on the Lido deck of the Zambezi Queen sometime soon in the future.
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yes.
Take care.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Carol.
guys.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
And that's a wrap for today, folks. A big thank you to my guests, Barb Chamberlain of Direct Travel and her client, Carol. If you'd like to reach out to Barb about a possible AmaWaterways Africa vacation or another itinerary, I will leave her contact information in the description below. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can simply send a question to questions@realtravelexperts.com or just drop a comment. We always respond and we love hearing from you. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, a like, share, and subscribe is certainly appreciated and helps other folks just like you to discover the channel. And if you're really enjoying the content and want to show a little extra love, we hope you'll think about joining our travel club. It really helps us to keep delivering the travel advice, expert interviews, and reviews that you know and love. So until next time, folks, happy travels.